As you already know, the Title 4D agency has full access to your credit report and your credit and personal information. And as a result, there are some risk and dangers to your credit score. And in this session, we're going to review both the underlying law as well as any remedy regarding this access. When it comes to access to your credit report, it falls under what is called a bill through Congress that was passed in October 2015 called HR 2091. And it reads that the Fair Credit Reporting clarify the ability for the Title 4D Child Support Agency to access your credit report in order to ensure that you make payments. And we've said this on this channel over and over again that the Title 4D agency is a separate agency. And in 2018, they generated over $28.5 billion in revenues. Uh, in addition to that, 14 million men are part of the child support program. That means the HR 2091 bill affects about 14 million men on the program. But we also can conclude that also the mothers is part of this credit agency check as well. On this channel, we believe that the number is larger, and we will cover that. If you are new here to our channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell where we bring you information on the child support program. Here are the credit bureaus. As you know, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. We'll pay close attention to Equifax as we go through this presentation. We're going to share with you some eye-opening moments, and we'll point them out to you. But in addition, we will talk about some remedies. This is a template that I have here on the screen, and it's how to protect yourself from the information that's being transmitted or distributed to the Title 4D agency. Hello, my name is Chris, and on this session, we're going to review the law that deals with the credit reporting and whether or not their procedures and process comes into conflict with your rights. As always, we have what is called our non-lawyer maxim. That is, we have the ability to show you and give you our opinion of the law. There's a section at the end called call to action, where we present you with the problem and then we provide solutions to that problem. So let's revisit this bill, HR 2091. As we said, it was passed in Congress in 2015, and it reads the following. On December 3rd, the House and Senate bill passed a bill containing the Child Support Assistance Act, where it eliminated what is called the 10-day notice from the Fair Credit Reporting Act. That is, in order for the Title 4D agency to access your credit report, they need to provide what is called a 10-day notice, but also they must provide that request to you via certified or registered mail. They call the non-custodial. In our case, we call the father. So they are removing this requirement. So now there are no requirements for the 14 million men that are on child support and the mothers. There is no reporting requirements. Here's something interesting when you look at this bill further. They put this provision regarding the Child Support Assistance Act under the Transportation Reauthorization Bill. Think about that for a second. They wanted to make sure that this particular section of the law passed the House and the Senate. So where did they place it? In the most unlikely place that you would find this law to exist, under the Transportation Reauthorization Bill. Think about that for a second. Your senator, your House of Representative from your state decided to put this what is called provision in that access your personal information without any check and balances. Think about that for a second. We also feel that this law does not only cover the 14 million men, it covers all men in the US. Our motto on this channel is 45 CFR 264.30, that all men are enrolled in the child support program. It said so in the first sentence. The state must refer all appropriate individuals in the family for whom paternity has not been established. So, therefore, this particular bill affects all men. We have a video on this channel called Defending Your Rights. Please review that. It would help you to understand what your rights are and how to defend it. Also, think about this. I've heard the statement that child support was never enacted into positive law, or it is unconstitutional. Then explain this provision, that HR 2091 is law. It passed Congress. How does that conflict with positive law? It's a statute, but it still affects men. As you know, your credit report is monitored by what is called FICO, which is the credit agency that gives you what is called a FICO score. And what affects your FICO scores are amounts owed, new credit, the length of time, and the payment history. However, there's one provision in the FICO score is the number of time a agency or a private organization access your credit report. So here's what happens. They access unlimited access to your credit report also drives down your credit score. Let's repeat that. Multiple access to your credit history drives down your or lowers your credit score. And with the 10-day notice being repealed or removed, you have no idea that has happened to you. So you go to get a car or a student loan or any sort of loan, and your score is not what you thought it is. Also, let's look at the credit bureaus. As I said, let's revisit them again: TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. And I said, pay close attention to Equifax. Now, I have no personal information or anything negative to say about Equifax other than present you the facts. This is a press release that was put out in 2015 where the passage of this particular bill, which is the removal of the 10-day notice to the individuals. At the bottom where I have the arrow, it says Equifax in partner with the Child Support Agency. So here, a private organization, a private reporting, has an agreement with the Child Support Agency to hand over your personal information to the credit agency. And in return, the credit agency hands over the history they have on you from other sectors of our government back to Child Support Agency without any check or balance. And here's further these magazines. I give them credit and their copyright for their information. I'm just displaying it on the screen. Here it is. It says they celebrated the fact that this 10-day notice has been removed from your credit report. That means your information is available. It's now available to the Title 4D agency. It's available freely to the credit agency, but it's also available to anyone. As you know, Equifax was hacked a couple of years ago. So that all that information is now on the internet and the web. And the issue is there is no requirement to provide you with a notice that this happened. As I've said, the janitor could access your privacy and your financial information. And again, no disrespect to the janitor, but what it points out is in the bill, there are no checks and balances. That means if the janitor wanted access to your report, you would have no idea of that fact. This, which is our opinion, is all about the money. They needed to know your spending pattern, everything before issue what is called a Title 4D or a child support order. And the only way to have that information is to have access to your credit report. And your own politician gave them access to your credit report by removing a key and important check. Think about that for a second. Also, let's look at other things that your politician have done to you that affects your credit information. In our earlier video, we did the 2000-year video, we talked about that your employer signed a multi-billion-dollar contract with the Child Support Office of Child Support, whereas they now have access to the employer in which to control the garnishment, again, without your notification. So now that your credit agency is working against you and your senators are working against you, now your employer is working against you. And again, all in cooperation with the Title 4D Child Support Agency. Here is something else that happens. Your own legislators did this as well. Under the Federal Consumer Credit Protection Act, only 25% of your pay, what they call earnings, disposable earning, should be garnished. Well, another provision that was put before Congress changed that. So now up to 60% of your disposable income is subject to garnishment. We covered this more in detail in a video called Show Me the Money on this channel. So please feel free to check that out. So again, another area of your life where the Title 4D has access to your earnings. This brings us to our section called Call to Action. So we've now learned that you no longer have the 10-day notice in which whether or not we can access your child support by the Title 4D agency. So here is our remedy. Draft a letter to the 3 credit agencies and ask them, when was the last time that the Title 4D accessed your reports? Or also ask to report to you anytime that the Title 4D agency access your report. Because the automatic 10-day notice has been removed, you now have to take control of your personal and financial information directly with the credit card company. In other words, you need to stop them from ruining your credit. Next, the garnishment. Your wage garnishment is capped at 25% according to federal law, but they can go as 60%. So what you have to do is work with your employer to meet the guidelines of the federal trade. It's not going to be easy, but it's one place to start. And of course, as we said, do whatever you can to get away from a child support program. If this information about your credit report is not enough to get you out of your seat, to then start the process to leave the child support program. So here's what we said. We had a solution is contact the 3 agencies and then ask them that you're aware of the HR 209 bill, and now you're asking them that the matter is urgent, that you're asking them to provide you details of how many times and who have accessed your credit report. So this brings us to the end of our presentation. I hope you now have ideas in which to remove yourself from the credit agency. And if for any reason you disagree with our research or our assessment, please comment below, as well as we ask that you like or subscribe to our channel. And we also ask for a small donation. Our research, of course, takes time to review, and we would like a little bit of credit for doing it. Plus, we provide this information to you freely, where you don't have to go and seek out the information, especially information on your credit report. And for that, all we ask for a small $25 gift or any amount. So thank you for joining us in this presentation. Again, your credit report or your credit history and your personal information is at risk, and I hope we've helped you in resolving that problem. As well as there's videos on this screen here that we'd like you to review. And thanks for joining us today.